Hey guys, sorry about that last live stream. Let's try to do this again. My apologies. All right. I'm going to have to do the whole thing over again because the whole reason I do this live is well, because I'm trying to make a video. I just want to do it live because I hate recording videos. I mean, recording videos is stupid. I'd rather just do it live. But the problem is lives don't get any views. Some people like this list, though, and this live will get views if I do a good job. So I don't mean live views. I mean views later on. So anyway, this station's just a hobby lately anyway. All right. So we're going to go the short-term max factor. If you've already seen it, I'm sorry. The audio was crackling last time. I tried to do it outside. The audio was crackling. For those of you that didn't see the first one. All right, here we go. Reveal number. Oh, yeah, and AI doesn't do number 20. AI can't count to 20, evidently. I don't know what the heck their program is. All right, so we don't know who number 20 was thanks to AI. Number 19 is MSFY. It's a Microsoft-based high-yield fund yielding 13.79%. Quarterly NAV return's a little on the weak side, but heck, it's only 19th place. I mean, it's not bad. Number 18 is GPIX from our friends at Goldman Sachs. GPIX is yielding about 8%, a little bit better. And the quarterly NAV return is 2%. 1 year total return is 11.98%. It's based on the S&P 500. Next one is Triple QI based on the NASDAQ. I know a lot of you guys like this one. This one has a little bit more volatility because it's based on the NASDAQ, but it's another good one. And it also has a little bit better yield, partially because it's based on the NASDAQ and partially, in my opinion, because it's a better fund. I think the Neos family does a little better job than that is Goldman, right? GPIX, is that Gold? Yeah, it's Goldman. But a lot of people like the GPIX and GPIQ. So, but I would say more people like Triple QI and SPY from Neos. I wonder if SPY is on our list today. We'll see. All right, number 16 is Hui with the 49 volatility. Quarterly NAV return of only 2%, unfortunately. Volatility and sky-high volatility at 49. But, I mean, it gets on the list because it makes up for it with the yield, right? All right, number 15, eggs. This is one that's kind of, gained popularity, eggs and Eggy. It's by a company called Nest Yield. I think they have three funds, Eggs, Eggy, which is EGGY, and they have, I believe, EGGQ. And the EGGQ is the one that's really been grabbing attention lately. But today, Eggs makes our list. Quarterly NAV return of a really good 5.8%. Fairly low volatility, a 16 vol. Babo. Now, Babo has sky-high volatility, kind of like Hui. This is based on BABA. Yielding 72%. It has a little better NAV return than Hui, though, and that's why it's ranked higher. 21% over the last year total return. Number 13 is XYLT. This one's on here with an asterisk. You hear me talk about this one every week. It's paid a special dividend. It's not going to pay that much this time. It only really yields 6. It doesn't make it a bad fund, but with the true yield of 6 and a quarterly NAV return of positive 2%, and a 1 year total return of 1%, it's not going to be on the list without the special dividend. So it's on the list, but it's with an asterisk. All right, number 12, TSLY. All right, TSLY is Tesla-based and it's from YieldMax. This thing yields sky-high yield 106, but also a high volatility to go along with it, a 45 vol, although it's not as volatile as some of the other things we've looked at lately. Quarterly NAV returns only 3.5%, but a lot of that had to do with yesterday. It had been doing a lot better. All right, number 11, TSLW. Now, this one's a good one as well. 47% yield, 53 vol, and it's doing great this quarter, 9%. So it's doing a lot better. So this one's from Round Hill, and it's made a 9% NAV return this quarter, whereas Tesla made 3.5%. Of course, Tesla paid about twice the dividend. So, but TSLW from Round Hill has a little bit more volatility. But those are the metrics I look at when I decide what to do with the high yield fund. All right, and this is a good one too. Blocks is a fund from X Funds, and it's similar to Alti, and it's like a hedge fund in a box. But this is like a crypto hedge fund or a hedge fund where the people are specialized in investing in crypto, both directly and indirectly through TradFi type assets and option strategies. But Blocks does a great job, yielding 28% and with the NAV return. Look at that, 14% NAV return. It even has more NAV return than TSLW, and that's based on Tesla. This is based on let's see, about 12 stocks. It depends, but I'd say 10 to 15 stocks at any given time. 12 to 20 at any given time. I was just trying to count. But it's about, I'd say that's about right. All right. Now GUI, this one's based on Google. It's from our friends it is from our friends at YieldMax, of course, GUI. 42% yield, lots of NAV return. Decent volatility. 25 is not too bad on vol, right? All right, number 8 is AMD. Now, AMD's kind of had its moment lately, with the big, with the merger. I guess Google's been on fire too because anyway, 60% yield. It's a great yield, but the quarterly NAV return is what is, and remember, that's after yesterday's pullback. So that's really, really good. All right. Number 7, GDXY. Now, GDXY is based on the index, based on the GDX, which is a gold miners index, gold miners ETF. So they have gold mining stocks in there. These guys just sell options on the gold mining stocks. They turn the volatility into a 44% yield. Everyone says, yeah, but you can't sell covered calls. You cap your upside. Well, their upside doesn't look like it was capped to be. They made 11%. That quarterly NAV return right there. Next month, I need to have AI, or next week, AI put, make sure that does not count dividends. That's just NAV, because the dividends are in the yield. We don't want to double count them, right? 44% yield and 11% NAV. I mean, that's, this thing's not having much strong gain upside. But GDX, that's underlined, has been on a bull run lately, as has Goops. Of course, Goop and GUI are both on here. Now, Goop it's from Curve. It only yields 16%, but that's kind of how Curve does it. They yield a little less and try to concentrate on the NAV return a little bit more. So you have a 20% nearly NAV return with Goop from Curve, where you have 9% from GUI. They're both good. It just depends on what you prioritize. Goop is also less volatile than GUI. Goop's only a 19 vol, where GUI is a 25 vol, 26 really. Number 5, Silvo, yielding 18%, quarterly NAV return of 10% based on silver. Precious metals are also having their moment, no doubt. And these are good ways to dampen the volatility. The precious metals traditionally have lower volatility. This is only an 11 vol, meaning that, in a really good year, it might be up or down 11%. It could be up or down more, but that would be kind of a typical yield. Not for silver. That's the volatility of SLVO, which is the fund selling options on SLV. K-Gold, but options themselves are a volatility dampener. So there's no doubt that this is a little bit less volatile than just owning silver by itself. I would bet if I checked. Anyway, K-Gold, this one's yielding a little less at 10%. This is from Curve, almost 11%. Volatility is the same as SLVO. Quarterly NAV return is beating SLVO, 18% NAV only, not including dividends. Number 3 is TSII. This is from Rex. Rex kind of does a hybrid strategy of Round Hill using the little bit of leverage. Round Hill uses just a small amount of leverage. These guys at Rex use a larger amount of leverage, but they only do it on half the portfolio, and the other half the portfolio they don't sell options on to try to preserve some NAV upside. Anyway, iGold, we got iGold right here, yielding 15.5%. Wow, and combining it with a NAV return of 13%. So that's really good. If you look at iGold compared to K-Gold, iGold has more yield, a little bit less NAV return. iGold's also, for whatever reason, a little bit less, more stable. K-Gold looks like, they all look good, but I need to get K-Gold next week. I'm getting K-Gold. Number 1, TSLP yielding 43% with the 33 vol, a quarterly NAV return of 15.93%. Wow. That's really good. 1 year return of 48.53%. That's the 1 year total return. So that's also really good. Like I say, Tesla, Google, AMD, and precious metals have really had a run here lately, no doubt. So let's do the battle royale for this round. Let's just compare the top Tesla ones and see which Tesla one is better. But let's go to since inception, because this is measuring for the quarter. So for the quarter, we're pretty sure TSLP would probably be a little better because it's ahead on the max factor. It wouldn't surprise us. Let's go back. Let's go back a little bit further than that. All right, TSLP from Curve versus TS2. I mean, and we could probably also compare a TSLW from around here. In fact, we will. We'll do a round robin here. All right, so since inception, which has not been that long, it's because TS2 just came out on June 4th. But since inception, which basically is just a little bit more than the last quarter, TS2 is beating TSLP. If you look at total return, this chart shows total return. Now, let's look at dividends. TS2 also appears to be paying a bigger dividend. Well, it is paying a bigger dividend. TSLP doesn't pay that big of a dividend. TS2 is a monster. I mean, it's beating on both accounts right now. TSLP is probably a little bit less volatile. So we'll give that round to TS2. Let's do TS2 versus TSLW. And then we'll do the long-term max factor. And then we're caught up with where we were when I was outside. Sorry about you guys that had to watch that twice. I apologize. All right. We're going to have to give it to TS2. I mean, TSLW made a valiant, it made an effort there and caught it for a little while. But then the pullback, I think the pullback may have hurt TSLW a little worse. So even though they use a little bit of leverage, it's on the entire AUM. TS2 uses a little more leverage, but it's only on half. So, anyway, I think the thing that's impressive about TS2 compared to TSLW is not that it just beat it by a little bit. They're both doing well. But that it's been ahead the whole time. It's been spanking it for months. Like I said, TSLW did catch up in the bull run, though. And then the bull run would have lasted, a little bit longer. And maybe it's not over yet. I don't know. But maybe TSLW would have caught it. All right, guys, are you guys ready for the long-term max factor? I'm going to stop by the comments and see who's here. What's going on here? Can you guys see the screen? Was I sharing the screen? Let me know in the comments what's going on. All right, hopefully everything's fine. Let me remember, so is the screen shared? Let me see if the screen's shared. No, the screen's not shared. The screen's not shared. Okay, long-term max factor. Did you guys? Well, yeah, I got an extender right here. I don't understand. I mean, I've got it set up. It usually works. You guys watch me do videos in here every day. Usually in here, it works fine. So maybe it's something with yeah, it's because I was checking something. Everything just went blank because I wanted to check because I reset everything. All right, here we go. All right, long-term max factor. But yeah, I was just saying I have an extender. It's right here. And I have two different Wi-Fi services, and one of them is FiOS-based, it's fiber-based. And I go back, I mean, it may just be that, I don't know. But I mean, anyway, long-term max factor. When it was outside, that's definitely because it was outside. It's just too far from the base, even with the extender. But I appreciate Froggy. Maybe you can give me some other advice some other time or whatever. But yeah, I'm trying to do everything I can. I need to get a darn. Can I plug a cat? I probably can't do a Cat 5 cable right into this laptop. It doesn't have that. But I need just to get a desktop and run a Cat 5 cable down the hall to the router, right? That's the way to do it. And especially if I'm going to keep streaming, especially if I'm going to try to stream at 4K, this is only either 720 or 1080. But anyway, okay. Sorry about the technical difficulties. Sorry, we don't know who number 20 is. Maybe we'll go back and check who the number 20s were after the show. All right. Number 19 is, this one's not showing us 19 either. I didn't know the long term wasn't working. Yeah, this is jacked up. Gosh darn it. Well, it maybe not. It's not jacked. It's only showing 13. Gosh darn it. All right. Well, whatever. Who cares? This is the short-term max factor is the real max factor. This is going off the rails. I probably just should re-record this whole thing. I can't freaking believe this. Where's the rest of the freaking max factor, guys? AI is an idiot. There's no way we have to worry about AI taking over the world. I catch AI lying to me all the time. It is. Anyway, or not the AI that's commercially available. So we don't know what the rest are. So number 13 is GPIX. Number 12 is XYLG. That has the usual asterisk. You guys know my spill. Number 11 is triple QI. So that one was on both lists. Well, all of these are on both lists. GPIX, XYLG, triple QI, and MSFY were on both lists also, right? Anyway, they're all good funds. Nothing wrong with them. Low volatility on all of these. Stable. They're paying some yield, and they're giving you a little bit of NAV return. All right. Number 9 is AMD. So the last one was based on a quarter. This is based on a year. So or you have to have been around for a year to appear on the long-term max factor. So anyway, AMD yielding 60%, quarterly NAV return of 16. This is all the same information from the other page. So number 8, Babo. All these are on both lists, right? GUI from YieldMax yielding 42%. Number 6, iGold. That was, that one's on both lists. Yearly NAV return of 31.23. Number 4 is Goop, also on both lists, yielding a little less than GUI, but giving you better NAV return. Let's look at, and also giving you better total return, over this time frame, over the past year. This one's a 28% total return over the past year, and this one's a 24%. They're both good. GDXY, okay, this one also on both lists, 1 year total return of 36%. That's great. That's great, especially when you look at a quarterly NAV return only of 11. Number 2, TSLP, and number 1 is TSLY, because I figured we just compare TSLP and TSLY. I knew number 1 would be TSLY if number 2 was TSLP. I just had a feeling. So, and we haven't run these two against each other yet. And let's go since inception with these two, and it might be more interesting, TSLY and TSLP, because these guys have more history. These guys have been beefing for a while. TSLP and TSLY from YieldMax and TSLP from Curve. All right, so going back, they've been around almost 2 years. These, that's because TSLP from Curve was introduced October of 2023. It came out about 2 weeks before I started my channel. I started in November 15th of 2023. I remember it well. Well, look at this. TSLP they were about the same. And it kind of looks like TSLY protected the money better in April. Or no, this was April. And TSLY did protect the money. It was down less on a percentage basis. But that's because what protects the money is the yield. Yield helps you on the way down. It gives you buffer on the way down, but it costs you on the way up. And when markets started going back up, the one that paid the lower yield took off again. And over time, since the markets generally go up and Tesla's generally been bullish, we'd expect kind of the one that paid the lower yield to have better NAV and possibly even better total returns, kind of the way it works. Yield's a tax on future upside. All right, so now we've run both max factors down. Let's go. I'm going to open up the new max factor. Let's go see what number 20 was and on both lists. And let's go look at Alti. I want to see Alti's metrics since it didn't make the list. I want to see how rough of shape it's in. It's going to take that max factor a little while to load. I'm going to stop by and say hi to you guys. All right, I'll catch up with everything there. Okay, yeah, round 2. James, thank you for being here. Froggy, thank you for being here. Yeah, Froggy, I do need help, Sam Cinder. Everything just went black. You had it shared before. Yeah. It's just because but you guys did see the first max. You saw the short, you saw the max factor reveals, right? I guess I can always cut the bad parts out of this and cut it into a, but I just like live videos. So anything you guys want to talk about, we can, but I want to cover number 20 on both lists. Since I want to cover on the long-term list who was number 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, and 14. So we're going to go look at that, and we can look at it. If you have any special funds that you guys like, that didn't make it, we can do that or whatever. So it's going to take just a second to load that list. And we can also, and we might also look at stocktools.app. This is basically going to be a Saturday morning live stream, but I wanted to do it's not even morning anymore, but I wanted to do I wanted to get the list out of the way. So yeah, I need, a USB Ethernet adapter. Well, yeah, you're right. That's exactly what I need, Froggy. You're right. Well, but no, I have it. I have that. I have it in my computer. You just saying I could get a better one. My computer, even though my computer is a spec monster from 2019, but I mean, it had everything you can have. I even have a 4K monitor. It had the top specs that was available in 2019. But so anyway, I would figure the USB inside of it's all right, but maybe I could get an adapter that runs on a better band or something. I don't know. I'll look into. I'd be happy to look into it. It's my birthday. Maybe I'll buy it for my birthday. Buy it for myself for my birthday. I'll go to Best Buy or something. Okay, hey Max, how about a show about inverse income funds? I think we're there. Yeah, maybe we do need to have one about inverse income funds. Yeah, I'd love to do that. If I was and I've thought about doing a show like that before, but I would rather do it. If I did that show, I would do a show about the pair. I would do a show about somebody that was trading about the pair itself and see how much the pair was returning. I did that for a while. I had the Tesla and crash, and I used to keep track of the total return since inception of just Tesla, of just crash. And then I used to keep track of the total return since inception of a 50-50 allocation of Tesla and crash, and then compare it to the SPY. And I did that for a couple of months, and it's like any of my other stuff. I lost interest in it. But yeah, but I do need to. But I do need to, because since then, I could do it on. I could look at more pairs. Since then, I know how to use AI, and even though AI is not great, I can do it better nowadays. Yeah, I'll look into that. I think that's a good one. I have a couple of other projects. I have one project, an AI project ahead of that. That I'm really excited about, but it's kind of related. So, all right, well, let's see if the max factor loaded, and it looks like it has loaded. So the long-term max factor. So let's see here. This isn't very user friendly, but so it starts on 50. So 50 through 70 would be 20. So number 20 was IDEVO. Number 19 on the long term, and I know a lot of people like that. It had a 5%. It only has a 5% yield. Doesn't really qualify to be on here, but I have it on here because I know some of you guys like it, and it is the 20 best long-term fund over the past year. When you factor in the volatility, when you factor in the risk and the reward, and the yield. Well, yield's part of the reward, right? All right. This one, and then Gold Eye was next. Then Misty. I know a lot of people like to see Misty on here. Misty yielding 208, but partially because of the NAV situation. Quarterly NAV performance down 42. That is ugly. In fact, it's a miracle it made this list, because it factors in the quarter. I don't know how it made this list, but it's because it has a 1-year total return right there where I'm circling at 43%. All right, I guess I can highlight the line. And then next one is YBTC, and I think this one's pretty popular with you guys also. In the past year, the NAV's gone from 44 to 41, so it's gone down a little bit, but it's paying a 50% yield. In this quarter, the NAV's pulled back a little bit, Anyway, then we have TSMY, Taiwan Semi. This one's been doing great. well, it's flat for the quarter, but it's been doing better lately. This is the chips in general. And then we have Maxi. Doesn't this one have a really high expense ratio? I mean, but there's something that they always, if you ask about it, they always say it's not really the expense ratio. I never do understand the explanation, but anyway, I don't have any Maxi because I think there's probably better choices out there. I mean, pays 33%. I mean, I'd rather have Blocks. Blocks pay, and that Blocks does the same thing. You know, Blocks is also based on Bitcoin. Anyway, all right, NFLP pays about the same. Has better performance, better management, in my opinion. And then NFLP, YBIT, and these were on the other list we looked at because we looked at the long-term max factor, and then the long-term finished at, well, anyway, then long-term finished at GDX or at this one. It finished right here, TSLI and TSLP. Now, let's look at Palti though. Palti is not. Yeah, Palti has been out for a year. Palti should have actually been number one on the long-term max factor, and I just realized that. And somehow AI screwed that up also. My apologies. Let's go back to the thing. Did I not hit reveal? No. They can't figure out 20 to 1. I said, I want the first reveal to be 20, and I want you to count down to 1. And they cannot figure it out. Anyway, so that's good. So let's go back. I'm sorry that I missed Palti. This is the worst show I've ever done. I'm just going to have to re-record this whole thing. But anyway, let's go. But anyway, you guys are here for the live stream. So let's go look at Palti. Maybe I'll start doing it this way. I'll have a live stream reveal, and then I don't know. So Palti, 90% yield, price a year ago at 50, price 51. Price now 60. It's up $9. Now this quarter, not so great because it got a little ahead of itself, pulled back recently. It's a 48 volatility, meaning it wouldn't be surprising if this fund was down 48% next year on total return. That's what that means. It wouldn't be surprising. It'd be normal, but it'd also be normal for it to be up 48%. It'd be one standard deviation, basically. Be within the realm of, very reasonable possibilities. Anyway, the 1 year total return, this one's just knocking it out of the park. I bet that's the highest 1 year total return on the whole board. It's got to be. No one else is yielding triple digits total return, are they? No, that's it. Now I want to look at Alti because I'm an Alti fan, and I think a lot of you guys are too. I'm sorry they didn't make the list. It had been making the list. It had been doing better. And, so here it is on the long-term list. It's number 24 because the long-term list starts at 50 and it's number 74. So it'd be 24. So it's not, it's not like it's on the bottom of the list either. I mean, the yield, the 130% yield definitely helps it. Part of that yield though, is because of the, the NAV lots of times isn't that great. The NAV performance NAV isn't that great in this one. So it makes the yield artificially high. Well, the max factor can parse all that out, and that's why it's about 24. Even after parsing it out, it's because this quarter's been kind of rough too, especially lately, down 15%. This quarter hasn't been rough. This week has been rough. This past 2 days, the past day has been rough. Really, the quarter's actually been good on Alti. It was the other day. Volatility is an 18 though. So for something that pays that high though, it has really reasonable volatility. And the reason it has reasonable volatility is because they don't just sell, when you sell a covered call, you cap your upside. You said you're able to, you have an asymmetric return, but in the bad way, you only get a little bit of, you have a capped upside and you can only make so much on the upside. You can do all right. You can make a little bit on the upside. But on the downside, you pretty much have, most of the risk of a stock. So that's asymmetric. Well, the way Alti does it is they use options to make it where it's not asymmetric or not as asymmetric. And so that's why, and these guys, I mean, there's no other fund that pays that much that has that type of low volatility. Now it did not make the list, because it also factors in recent performance and stuff. And so we'll see. Hopefully we'll be back on there next week. So we've covered Alti, we've covered Misty, NVDY. Is there any other ones that we just have to cover? Because I mean, that people love. NVDY is another one also that I can't believe NVDY wasn't. Let's just do a battle royale with NVDY. Let's go NVDY and NVDW. So NVDY from Yulmax, NVDW from Round Hill. All right, so since inception, the Round Hill funds, well, the first of the W series funds came out February 19th. I remember that well, too. That was a big deal. People were excited about that. People were really excited about WPay. I actually have NVDW indirectly. I have everything the Round Hill has indirectly through WPay. WPay didn't do great the other day either. I just bought it 10 days ago. Anyway, whatever. It'll bounce back. It'll bounce back. So over this short time frame we have, the Round Hill one has been outperforming, even including the other day's pullback. I don't know, though. I think sometimes dividend calculators one day behind. I don't really know if that includes the pullback. Well, end date 10/10. Yeah, it does. Okay. It does. So why not just get NVDW? And there's nothing wrong with NVDW. Like I say, having myself. The thing is, NVDY pays a higher dividend, but it doesn't look like it pays much of a higher dividend, right? That's 28% for NVDW. NVDY pays 35 maybe. So should we do curve on there too? I don't think we have many curve fans, but it's a shame. We're fixing to have a lot more with KYLD. I'm sure you guys are excited about KYLD. I know I am. But let's see if curve can beat Round Hill on total return. Curve doesn't have an NVIDIA product. Is that right? Yeah, they don't. Though we'll do NV22 or NVII. NV2, which is Rex. Okay, now this is the battle royale. This is the battle everyone wanted to see. Wow. Now the thing is, Rex only came out in May, so this is based on a very small time frame. But my Lord, they're right there together. They are right there together. It looks like NV2 edged it a little bit in the end, but no losers in this. No losers in this race. As far as dividend goes, NVDW pays about 25. NV2 pays about 22. It looks like just eyeballing it. It has paid. I just did it in my head real quick. So no losers in that race at all, is there? All right. What are you guys up to? I'm going to watch my Sooners today. They come on at 2:30. I like the 2:30. For a while, they were coming on 11. I hate 11 o'clock games. I'm barely up by 11. I wouldn't have even had that. I'd still be doing this live stream. So anyway, but they play the 2 o'clock. They play the Longhorns. So it's kind of an incestuous relationship because lots of weeks I sit here and I watch Longhorn games too, just because it's our local team here and they're on TV all the time. And I don't have any animosity towards them, but I do this week. I saved all my animosity for this 1 week, right? I need to make that a thumbnail and send that picture to my dad. My dad will like that, and my son. The reason I'm a Sooner fan is because of my dad. He's the one that indoctrinated me. All right. Yeah, Froggy, I appreciate you guys taking time out of your day to be here. There's only 7 of you here, and that's fine because it's a whatever. I don't know. I wish this would have gone better because I really think I'm going to have to either cut it. I'm going to have to fix it and probably shoot it anyway. Probably going to watch the game, and then I'll shoot it again. This is just going to be our Saturday morning live stream. So if there's anything else you guys want to talk about, put it in the comments. If there isn't, I'll let you go. I'm going to go eat lunch. I might even have time to take Jax on a WLK before the game or a run, to jog, whatever. We went on a good run yesterday, right about 5 o'clock. I waited till we we had like between 5 o'clock. And it was still hot yesterday. This morning I walked out, and for the first day, it smelled like fall. It felt like fall. There was a breeze. The air had a crisp coolness that you just do not get in summertime. So anyway. All right, guys, it looks like there's no more questions. So I appreciate you all for being here. And I will talk to you guys in Discord. Have a good day.